explain what has been done in the past and what are the plans in the future. And these different aspects are evaluated by different experts, and also then it's a global evaluation. So I think this is a good example that even at the end, it's every year is a different capital, but it's not a single value, it's a combination of, even then when you analyze why a city is won, you see in the different aspects is addressed in different way compared to other cities, because at the end it reflects the local situation. So in conclusion, I'm not in favor for new synthetic indicators, but more using the ones that we have and crossing them to get new information or new knowledge.
Well, I totally agree with you. As I already showed this morning when we were talking about the land use efficiency, putting everything together can have two different effects. The first is that you are hiding all the dynamics that are below all the processes that are below. And the second effect is that you get a single value that sometimes has not even a meaning. The land use efficiency we were discussing before is one of these measures. Given a value, I showed you the different cities with the land use efficiency equal to 1. What does it mean? It might just mean that they are maintaining their density. But then, is it good, is it bad? This is, let's say, it's sort of meaningless. Moreover, the way this indicator is structured can be also misleading, because when you have a restoration of land, you can have, I showed you that the value, a good value can be between 0 and 1, and all the rest, negative or greater than 2, can be, let's say, a worse situation. But when you have the land restoration, the things completely change. If you are between 0 and 1, you are bad, and if you are greater than 2 or negative, you are good. So even if you have a value, you are not able to really say something about land use efficiency. So putting all together, and this is a kind of indicator that tries to put things together, because it's composed by the growth rate of the land consumption and the growth rate of population. So it's very, let's say, it shows you the problematic of having synthetic indicators. I think that it's much more fair to show several indicators showing the different dynamics that are going on, the different processes, and also not just numbers, but also, as we were saying, maps that can also add values to the indicators, and because the spatial component and the value, it's really important, I think.
Thank you. And Francesca, your opinion about this?
Thank you. I totally agree to the point of colleagues, because the synthetic indicators are very useful to simplify decisions, but we miss a lot, too much, maybe in this condition. I want only to point out the fact that land take is not the same issue everywhere. So we have to address high density in the proper way, and maybe think about greenery, about deceiling, a different densification, or different immigration policy, or it's a problem. Other problem is sprawl and transport and environmental impact derived from sprawling. And there's no one number to address all these situations. That's why we are trying at the national level to address the problem with different indicators connected with population decreasing or increasing where it happened, and also on the quality of soils, trying to address the impact and the quality of the loss, through land degradation and through ecosystem services assessment. The availability of this information for public administrations, but also for general public, it's really important for us and for European, starting from European institution to national and local level, to allow people participate in the processes and make more consensus about decisions that are not easy, even when we speak about consolidated processes, our dense city and strong drivers. We need the participation to give force to this kind of decisions. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you, and this, what we were saying leads me also to other considerations that were developed within the partnership, because we are now focusing on one of the 9 actions that we developed, but there are other 8 actions that are both addressing land take, urban sprawl, and brownfield, so an observatory also for taking into account the availability of land within the city, and on the other side, nature-based solutions. And one action that is really linked with the one we are discussing about the indicators of land take is the action about strategic environmental assessment. Discussing these 2 actions was really tricky for us because they were always interfering in a positive way one with the other, because of course if we think about indicators, we think about something that we want to use to assess what we are doing as municipalities, as planners, so to assess the effects of the planning process on the quality of life, on the quality of the environment. And what we have seen discussing this within the partnership is the need to better use what is there in terms of environmental assessment, because we have many tools, the impact assessment, the strategic environmental assessment, and sometimes there is no, let's say, awareness about the potential of these tools and how the different topics that we consider, like land take, for example, could be integrated within this assessment to make more aware and sustainable choices. So with Francesca, I would like to talk a bit about this integration with strategic environmental assessment. So our partnership focuses on sustainable land use on one side and nature-based solutions as seen as a tool for reaching sustainable land use. So it's not only about densifying, it's not only about compactness, it's also about the quality of this city. It's about using nature-based solution to reach a livable compactness. And the way we think we can reach this livable compactness is assessing different scenarios, different options of land take or not land take through the tools that we have available, like strategic environmental assessment. So what do you think about this?
Thank you for this question. There's a lot to say about strategic environmental assessment and how it is functioning in Europe and especially in Italy, but remaining on land take and nature-based solution, that's not enough. Obviously, there's a problem, as you discover in your project action. The matter of soil is a Cinderella in the strategic environmental assessment. We doesn't have any directive, and so there is a gap from the top. Addressing impacts on soil as an environmental matter, we are introducing also the measurement of land take and the soil quality in the processes in which we are involved as a national authority since some years. And we are seeing that some environmental report data on this and make evaluation on this. They are not integrated in the decision. That's the problem. In the better condition, those indicators are used to assess status and trend of the resource, but not used as a strategic indicator for decision. One of the problem is the integration between levels of planning, of course, and where the consumption happens. The decision upon infrastructure is in charge of national state the most, regional authorities also. The local plans are completely in charge of local administrations with two different evaluation processes, different approaches, and not communicating each other. So in the most cases, regional authorities doesn't have a thermometer of what is happening in terms of strategic environmental assessment at the local level. For this reason, we started last year with a group within the national system of environmental protection, working on this topic of quality of soils and environmental ecosystem services assessment within strategic environmental assessment processes. It's only a starting point, so we will be very glad to share experiences and point of view. One I appreciated very much, you told me before, is that even the directive of environmental strategic assessment can't be modified for now, we can start including these indicators, and it can be the arena in which try to apply this mix of indicators to evaluate different conditions. And good luck to us, to everybody.
Thank you. In fact, within the partnership, we started a dialogue with the DG Environment about this topic of the strategic environmental assessment. Our aim was to try to put more emphasis on soil and land take and these issues on the directive. But we understand that this is not possible to change what is there because there was a consultation which is now closed, so we are a bit late for this. But what could be done is to produce sort of guidelines or a sort of framework for explaining what is already possible, because we can already use these tools that are available within strategic environmental assessment, but to make it more explicit. So one of the outputs of the partnership would be these guidelines about how to integrate land take assessment and soil evaluation also on the qualitative point of view within strategic environmental assessment. And for this, of course, the indicators and data sets that we were discussing today